We're back. Let me grab the chat open. Morning to everyone. I'm hoping everything is working well. And hopefully this stream will work well and we can get into the read. Now, I might look back at the actual stream manager because everything on the actual platform crossing between YouTube and StreamYard sometimes pixelates a bit for me on this end. So I will check the chat in StreamYards. So let's have a look at the energy. Now, this morning I felt very funky. I was like, oh, what's this? So, you know, I looked at a few songs and I found myself to be a little bit peppy. And then I opened up Instagram and I saw Leo Nix and her profile. And again, it was giving me the secondary download. I then saw a double rainbow and also checked the astrology. And we do have a conjunction from Venus to Uranus and Taurus. So it can play out two ways. And I have had some very interesting experiences at the moment relating to twin flame path, as well as the signs and synchronicities. And what I'm seeing at the moment is it's almost like somewhere over the rainbow. It's a huge manifestation portal, but I do feel, again, it's almost that father energy, which is what I was talking about in the members this morning as I was getting my makeup on, is that with the moon in Aquarius, we can feel a little bit rebellious, and we do have to use our feminine energy correctly. We also, you know, it'd be good if we could be empathetic and understanding, both to ourselves and other people, and find that love in our heart, but also find that bliss and that passion. And I feel some of you are kind of moving through that portal of feeling quite stuck in your head and wanting to get into a happy vibe again. It's like, where is this bliss at? So we're going to pull the cards. Ooh. We're going to pull the cards. There's been some huge breakthroughs, I feel, spiritually. And I do feel that has been coming up between both us within our masculine feminine and also between the connection of the twins. Hi, Vanessa. How are you all? So what I would say is, for some of you, if you're stuck and you're having a chain of very unfortunate events happening, it's there to show you something spiritually. You know, I remember having a chat to a spiritual friend in Telegram, and there were two individuals that were twins, and they're in union, and even us in union, we have those hurdles. And spiritually, the individual and individuals, I can say, both the masculine and the feminine in this connection, they were feeling almost like, from the spiritual element of things, they wanted to be very 3D, but sometimes on the 3D, it's almost like it blocks you, and then you're more in the 5D. And I think we're trying to bring both, right? So music is coming through to heal the connection. It can be, you know, we need to be very disconcerting of the music that we're using. If it's taking us to that high vibe, it's almost giving yourself permission to, in the day-to-day, to find something that brings you pleasure, because that's usually where you're going to be able to manifest from, is when you're in this very upbeat kind of, and it's not that we can be there all the time, but it might be that we need to nurture ourselves. It could be having a bath, or it might be going for a walk and just connecting. It's like, we, in order to have clarity, when we're blocked, we need to just be. For those of you that have no communication, you may have found this huge kind of stagnation, silence, you know, ghostly silent. You love my hair. I cut it, and I was going to cut further, but, you know, I just couldn't commit. It was during Mercury retrograde. It was a couple of months ago, actually. It was just getting too long. I was sitting on it, and I thought, no, I can't. I just got to cut it. Dream of Genie. Yes. Twin got a Coca-Cola hat, and it's red, which is quite funny because, you know, at the moment with Jupiter and Mars in their placement, it's almost like the preferences and the things we like is coming through. I'm also feeling, you know, and I mentioned this to Leo Nix this morning. I don't know why, but they usually find your sassiness quite alluring. Sometimes, yes, they can find us a little bit bratty, and they can project back to us, but other times they do find it to be quite cute in some obnoxious kind of weird way. Hyper Casino, how are you? So, okay, what have we got coming through here? Okay, psychically, what I am picking up is both parties here in the mix are healing something to do with their belief systems, belief in self, values, how you saw the situation going through, and you might have gone backwards to go forwards. If you've had some blocks coming up, rejection is the universe's protection. It's not there to curse you. You know, it can feel like it. You know, we had some things play on our side and our twin flame path, and it was like, it's a little bit 50-50. You know, you're going to get some nice, juicy, good things, and then you get some crappy things, and you're like, really? But I think when you're exiting a certain stage, it could be a house, it could be a location, you know, it could be a group of friends. When you're thinking of exiting and you're trying to do that in the most neat and tidy fashion, sometimes you can have a chain of events to really tell you, please don't regret being here. Don't come back, you know. So whatever this is, it sort of feels as though if there's something yucky that's coming, it's more to give you a heads up that you're on the right track. It's like, let it go. Universe will sort it for you. A solution will come. But the reason that the challenge, the trigger, the block is coming up is so that you can reach acceptance and go, I don't like that. And you can emotionally let it go. It's funny that we've got tribal spiritual dance. There could be things going on around you at the moment. And look, tribe with the age of Aquarius and with the fact that we have the moon in Aquarius and Sun retrograde, we're going to see what's coming up for feminine and masculine. It can be that you've got a lot to do. Wow, I'm really liking masculine's cards. Not that they're all gorgeous, but of what they're going through at the minute. And I think they're having an acceptance. Ooh, lots of father healing there. Lots of father healing, lots of lineage. I feel that we're both clearing, especially because we have Lilith in Cancer and we have Saturn retrograde. We also have the moon today in Aquarius, which can be to do with mother and father healing. So it's the inner child, it's the accountability. We're trying to find that balance. We could feel very rebellious and feeling like we don't connect to our family, and then that we do, empathy for other people. So it can be swinging at the moment. Just stay grounded through it. It is crown chakra. You're really going to need to, in your bodies for the next week, easy. We just moved away from the full moon in Sagittarius. Drink fluid, detox. If you can't go to the bathroom, detox, you know, because we're getting rid of old things inside us. We're detoxing, so to speak. Are you going to feel a bit foggy if you don't know where you're going and what you're doing? You kind of know where you're going, but the tools aren't being provided to you spiritually in your path. Request them, let go, and pause for a second. There's a method to the madness. Please try and trust the process. Now, I'll get a Rune cast if I can find the bloody book. I've had to reset the computer up. I have my import cords now so I can use my mouse separately. We had a very comical event the other day, so if you want to see it, was it the Divine Mass? No, it was the Divine Feminine video from last week. Go through and have a look at that. It's bloody hilarious. I went to exit stage. You know, Divine Feminines weren't too impressed with the Divine Masculine, not within ourselves nor them. We were feeling very disillusioned, which some of you probably are still now, but you might be able to find the comedy in it. But at the end of the video, it was almost like we were going to the next video, which was going to be the Divine Masculine, and the video wouldn't bloody shut down because I couldn't use my mouse. It jammed. So we now have that connected, and that was a very unique experience. You can't make this up. So now we have the camera, the audio, and the mouse connected. I almost blocked somebody. What have we got? How did I know we were going to get that? Hi, Rune cast. For the connection, what do we have coming up here? So yes, deep emotions coming from masculine. They're trying to process it. Oh, bless. Fire. All that Jupiter energy. Trying to move for the hills. You know, we're trying to get on that bloody chariot and we're moving ahead, and it's really peeving us off. We're like, can we just go? Can we just go? Can we get there, right? It's relating to Saturn, Odin, fire, ash, and elm. Oh, Lord. Okay. It's the high one, God, Odin, the equivalent. We just had the full moon in Sagittarius. So, yes, we are looking at that. We're looking at our beliefs. We're looking at hopes and dreams and aspirations. And there's a difference between what we would deem in, you know, the community as religion and a belief system. There's two different things here. Hi, Eddie. How are you? I was just thinking about you this morning. So this Rune cast set, it's the Chariot. It's the movement forward, right? Nothing is for nothing, but to use your tools and to become resourceful, which the moon did relate back to the previous eclipse cycle. So for us spiritually in our twin flame path, divine masculine was in the south node for 2 years, about 18 months. So if you had no movement during that time, stagnation, maybe some communication, it was because they were reflecting upon the past in order to gain some context and grasp where they were stuck. But it was almost like an imprisonment. Okay, that's about the best way I can describe it. Then we moved into January 2022 with Jupiter in Aries. Can't remember the date it shifted, but it was for about 5 months. They were in the 12th house. And yes, I channel psychically, use the astrology to help you with your ascensions, and I'm a twin flame. So we now have Jupiter in Aries, which is the first house, which means they're trying to bring both of those things together. So if you have had stagnancy pretty much from, 2018, you're going to see some movement this year. But this process is the opening of that so they can be their true version of themselves, to be the most open, very similar to where we're trying to get to, that they've ever been in their life. So this is a very beautiful activation, so to speak, and it won't be the same as what it was before. So you might have found this month so far, it's been very choppy, might have been very silent, may not have had any communication. You inside yourself, divine feminines, might have felt very emotional, angry, aggressive, disillusioned. We're easing out of it, both parties, masculine and feminine, easing out of that eclipse cycle. As we get further away, it should get easier, but we are moving into Neptune retrograde. So some old habits can come back. When it is in its retrograde, we can correct those things, but we may have found it acted like a triple Mercury. And that's because Neptune shows you things that are hidden. They could be dirty little secrets, taboo things, 12th house matters. Morning warrior woman. So yes, I have seen some of those things happen. I have had contact from karmics. I have revisited shadow work again, which relates to whenever I talk about the masculine, the feminine, and the karmic. I always advise, always look at a potential in the karmic energy and channel messages that I give, that's a potential we can embody, especially if the karmic's tuning into you, especially if you've got a blockage in your chakra. We can fall down to that lower realm, but 9 times out of 10, you will ascend back up and you'll bounce back out of it. So behavioral patterns can come through in those cycles. Okay, nothing is for nothing. Mundane, gifts, opportunities, partnership, love match, sacrifice. Sagittarius also does relate to your belief systems associated to marriage due to your conditioning. And because we have Black Moon Lilith in Cancer, yes, we can have that old crap coming up. Well, mother and father did this, and therefore, why can't I do that? Or we might have been marking ourselves against that and needing to do better somehow. So we're trying to find peace with what that was and where we feel we wanted to be. At a personal level, with the full moon in Sagittarius, which I do blog posts on the website. If you ever need astrology or star signs or twin flame path, I do cover that also, both free and paid, on my website. You're going to find that in your own personal lives, it could be to do with blogging, journalism, growth, getting your diet in order. It'll depend on where it's falling for you. But from a spiritual notion, it's about, we're trying to find a balance between what we do in our day-to-day life and having a little bit of personal time, having some bliss, having some love, having some ascension movement happening, okay? So the quadrant has been or will be offered a gift from the gods. This may take the form of wisdom or insight or an opportunity. The quadrant is warned, however, of the responsibility inherently in accepting such a gift. The old Norse philosopher that says nothing comes from nothing, emphasizing the quadrant's onus to use the gift correctly and to acknowledge both the giver and the given. It warns against taking gifts or relationships for granted. At worst, it foreshadows theft or betrayal. It's not in reverse. It may also caution against giving off oneself too freely or spreading oneself too thin. This can result in depleted energy and loneliness. Solar plexus and sacral chakra. The healthy give and take, healthy boundaries, nothing is for nothing. So it was unique that this Rune cast came up because it did come up in the podcast, and we were talking about the fact that, you know, what my chart was, which I'm a generator manifester, which is quite unique because a lot of times I teach you guys about love, connections. I've got Cancer in my chart, I've got Scorpio. So spiritually, can there be beauty after darkness? 100%. What's the star card in Tarot? It's a light coming through the darkness. What's Chiron? It's muddy waters, and we're coming out of it, and we're having a rebirth. And Scorpio really is to do with us letting things go. Taurus is the divine feminine, but having to stabilize ourselves through unsettling circumstances. And this is happening in both parties, right? So from the emotional point of view, both counterparts in the mix here are trying to heal that. You're healing the heart chakra, you're healing your nervous system, you're healing your stress levels, you're trying to find harmony, right? Now, the moon, like I said, related back to 2020 to 2000, oh, this one coming up did. So it was 2020 to 20 to 21. Yes, North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius. The next moon phase goes back to the conjunction. So we're culminating in this month 4 years of astrology, 4 years of energy, and we're bringing those learnings and we're coming full circle. So can it feel like an eclipse? Yes. Like that moon, really, the first thing I heard was, God, this is like an eclipse. So for a lot of you, yes, you can feel quite exhausted. The card that you have as your crowning energy is personal freedom. And so, you know, when we make peace with things spiritually, you know, what you're wanting is, okay, when am I going to get off this ascension path? And I'm here to tell you, you will. It's not going to be like this forever. It does depend on where you are in the journey. Now, I do read for many twins. There are those of you, I talk from a collective consciousness point of view, and each of you will jump in the house at a different level. What I can say is union portals are here, but you also need to make union with self. So what does that look like? The freedom to be the good, the bad, the ugly, the freedom to be in harmony and balance and to believe in your resourcefulness. And it's almost like when you come to an acceptance point of yourself in the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you say, this is who I am today. I wish I could do better yesterday, but I did what I could, you know, within the means and knowing of what I had. And I don't know who I'm going to be tomorrow, but this is who I am today. And reaching that acceptance and also listening to what your needs are so that you can physically say, okay, what is my soul needing today? And the reason I'm mentioning this is to help you with your union. That is how you gain the union. It's by your harmony of the yin and yang coming into balance that actually does bring your twin in. But you will then be able to remain stabilized while that frequency comes in. Now, it is very common to, prior to union, to have another individual coming towards you. And you may be questioning that if it does happen that way. And you might be saying, gee, did I ask for this? And sometimes 9 times out of 10 you do. Something to do with family is coming up at the moment. And again, this could be your childhood. This could be your emotions of, how can I explain it? This could be happening on both sides, right? So there is a feeling of family within this connection. There could be something on masculine side or feminine side. Personally, I feel it's on both sides. It's to do with us regressing back and looking at our childhood, but trying to move forward. It is also, it could be to do with home. Some of you may be moving home and looking at where you feel you need to be. Does your location resonate? And a lot of times if we have something to that degree come up, be it it's we're shifting jobs and maybe we work next to them, albeit you're moving a location or you're having a family dynamic change and you maybe call for your twin, you wish your twin was there. The funny thing that I'm seeing is some of you could have an attachment and a fair-based frequency that if you move, it means you will never see your twin again. And I've got to say that's not true. I have over the years moved various locations. And that didn't change it. You know, no distance, no space changes it. But I'm also hearing wish upon a rainbow, okay? I did see a double rainbow this morning, and I do feel it's almost like you've got to understand it's almost like you're the leprechaun, you're special. We're all special individually, but you can have these streams, but you have to be open to receiving them. Now, it's funny that we've got the Emperor in reverse. Now, not that I feel you are, but there's a potential. Some of you could be thinking, gee, you know, were all my benefits in the past, were all my opportunities in the past. I'm still seeing, for some of you, you might have had a person in your life that was quite, how could I explain it? Quite ascendant. This could have been a biological parent that was, you know, had their crap together. I also feel a lot of you are thinking that, you know, you either had a connection to a previous person and maybe wished you had taken that opportunity, or I actually do think it's divine masculine, and I feel that they're coming back in, but it's almost like their bubbly self is coming back. But it does feel, you know, I don't feel you guys are expecting it. So I feel they're coming in. You feel the sense, but at the same time, they are actually coming in as an emperor, which I think is extremely positive. In the heart of the matter, there's a lot of healing through the heart chakra at the moment. And, you know, I think some of you are hoping that this person has empathy for maybe their trespassers. Okay. Is this person going to have regret? Is this person feeling that what was done was wrong? Okay, that's what's coming through. I'm just reading the cards. Also, some of you can be feeling that there is regret through actions taken previously. Also, I do feel very strongly, it's like I'm hearing the term be gentle on your heart. I feel this, you know, this heart energy at the moment, and the sympathy, like the regret. There is regret relating to karmics, and that's for both sides of the fence, but there's also this feeling that we need to empathize with the situation. I don't know how that's contextualized at the moment, so we're going to dig a bit deeper. For some of you, you might be flying back and forward. You could be thinking, gee, why am I being so hard on this situation? Maybe there's logic that's coming through. And so it's almost like you're embodying two energies in one breath. And I did mention this the other day in the members hub. It's like, you know, in order to actually be able to function effectively with your triggers, it's almost like you acknowledge the fact that it's coming up, but you take yourself out of your body simultaneously and you're observing it. So you've got the logic there. But you also are aware that you're triggered, okay? He came in very unexpectedly. Good to hear. Yeah, so there's something old that's coming up, and it's like you kind of feel a bit crabby at yourself. I do feel something is going to be let go of. This can be an emotion. This can be a circumstance. You might also be looking at something in a different light, and I think it's going to give you the breakthrough that you both need. Okay, you're both aware that there are people that did attempt to sabotage this connection in the past. This can be a feminine. For some of you, you might have been accused of being a home breaker. Some of you, you feel very protective of the connection, but at the same time, you don't want to go on where angels tread a fed because you actually want to feel quite safe. But I feel this person's coming back different to what you're expecting. So a lot of these things that you're kind of embodying and thinking, when this person's coming back, they're actually not being that way. Some of you are afraid that if you open the door, that it's going to be a repeated pattern, and opening a door doesn't cause a repeated pattern. Opening a door is an opportunity. We have yes and no's. Okay. Oh, okay. What's coming up here, guys? I feel there's some communication coming in. Some of you can be getting some good news. I feel those of you that do gain communication, you might find that this person is quite chirpy. It might be very confusing to you. Look, I really do feel, and I mentioned this in the members hub this morning, if you have an opportunity Talk less, listen more. Only because I feel they're going to give you a revelation. They're going to tell you something. It's going to be quite critical to hear. You might go into protective mode, but my guides are saying talk less, listen more. You'll be able to ask the pivotal questions, plant the seed, because I'm definitely seeing an opportunity for communication here. If on the last occasion it was both parties, try and listen, because I feel that they're going to open up and express what has been going on and, you know, how they've actually been seeing you. I do feel both of you are wanting to feel valued. Both of you do value each other. There's something in a sense that is being tied up and ended at the moment. This is actually really wearing the divine masculine out. I also feel that what they're showing me is the divine masculine found that when they were trying to be something they weren't, it was very difficult for them. So this is coming up quite largely at the moment of almost where they feel split, but they're totally honoring and accepting the fact that they can't be something for somebody at the moment. And I feel it's more to do with expectations. There is an ending, so to speak. This can be guilt relating to childhood, family, children. And I feel on both sides, like, you know, so some of you, it's like, God, how do I get vulnerable? Vulnerability means breaking, but you can't break what's broken, right? So it's like if the pain is there, be okay to have, you know, tears coming down or however that comes out. Just be okay to be yourself. You don't need to make the whole world perfect. It's okay to be, you know, the emotion, but the adult at the same time. So you can be having an emotional experience, but you also can have the adult experience and say, look, I'm not blaming or X, Y, and Z, however that comes through, but it's okay to actually drop the ball and be emotional. I feel this person's dreaming about you guys at the moment. There is this dream state coming through. It's really interesting because considering this is the joint energy, masculine's coming through very boldly. So I do feel they're quite in your aura, divine feminine. I feel it's almost like a storyline is being painted where they are mapping this out. They do have a start point and an end point in mind. Their intent is to come back as the emperor. They do know with this circle that's been going on for so long at the moment, number one, they know they need to be single. Number one, they want to be free to be themselves. They do feel genuinely that when they're with you, you are family to them. For some reason, they're making reference to feeling like your family is their family. Some of them, like I said, they could be a little bit unwell and run down. It's like when they're dreaming about you, though. But this is coming through like they are working really hard during the day, and you know they're trying to keep themselves busy. They're meditating on you quite a bit. But I also feel when they're sleeping, they're in the dream state. It's almost like they're planning and mapping this future. Let's pull a chakra card. What's going on here? A lot of manifestation. They also don't want to let you go. I'm hearing till death do us part. Like it feels very, they're getting very traditional. It's quite funny, actually. This was me in the dark ages. What's happened to me? Been there. But it's sweet. It's more, I feel, you know, you do go through a stage where you want the marriage and all the rest of it. It's really, you know, it's the spiritual connection now. So I feel it's moving both to a want and a desire for a spiritual connection and a marriage. As in it can be the paper but it's both. It's the paper and it's the 5D. You know what I mean? Okay, some of them, it's like there is movement in home. There's movement in family and there's movement in home in their side of the fence. So as to are you feeling something is going on with you guys and it's affecting it, I don't think it's showing that you something is going down over here. I think we're going to jump straight into the masculine's energy because they're really talking through this connection. It must be where they're wanting to say to you, look, I am actually considering that, yes, I have been hard. I wish I had picked this situation. If there was a subject or a conversation relating to marriage at some point with you guys, and it didn't go so well in a communication sense, or maybe they gave you mixed messages. They actually do want to get married. So it is something they've been thinking about for some time. I think they're going to bring this conversation back up. Maybe it came through an incorrect way in how they expressed it. I also feel if they are married, they're looking at this and they feel they wouldn't like it. It's almost like if they are in a connection at the moment and they're married, they kind of feel bad that they don't want you to be with anyone else. So they're doing a bit of shadow work and they're looking at it thinking, oh, I'm actually contradicting myself here. Here I am in this marriage, but, you know, and I'm expecting that person to not change, but I actually need to change if I want to be with them. Okay. Yeah, they do know that you had been patient, but they also feel it's inappropriate to expect that of you. I think they're going to, you know, some of them do tend to communicate, and how would I say it? It's like, oh, you know, if the guilt is there, they'll say goodbye. But again, that's not what they're wanting. They're actually trying to process it. And while they're going in that circle, which I don't think it's for too long, because this has been going on a long time, this is more at the moment. They're regressing back and looking at the things that they were doing. And in the here and now of where they stand, yeah, it's almost like when they're not with you, they start kind of going down a bit. There is a money situation that's being dealt with. They want to be able to give you the world. There's good news coming in, feminines. I feel on your side, you guys are going to have good news to do with money. Interesting. Okay. What's that about? Okay, if your twin is dealing with a financial situation, you haven't had no walk in the park, right? I feel, I don't know, they've got two people around them at the moment. I don't feel they're partners, but I feel they're karmic. It could be siblings. Okay, there could be a conflict with siblings. This could be a inheritance situation. Yeah, it's just conflict. Okay, I feel at the moment where they're at in their minds, they're wanting to balance. They're wanting to balance and bring this, you know, to a head, right? I feel they're gaining more balance. They're also seeing people for who they really are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think they all exist. Okay, they're not. Devil wears Prada. Like, they've seen it, they've been there, they've done it. They know what it is. They almost feel now so woke that if somebody tried to pull the wool over their eyes, they know the situation too well. I feel they're very aware of it. The funny thing is, they're making reference to a point where they didn't want commitment because they knew where they spiritually were at. They might have actually brought a karmic energy into their life during a time where they were healing. They're very defensive about this at the moment. They know to a level, whatever is going down here is, it was never going to work. Not permanently. Ooh, there's a conflict over money here. There's also to do with that. Look, and inadequacies can be coming up. Yep. How am I going to provide? This could be something that you actually mentioned. Also, Divine Feminines, I'm getting. You might have actually mentioned, okay, you've got a plan over here. We've discussed this. In your mind, this can be happening, you know, mentally. Other group of you, I feel there might have been a conversation to do with money and how we're going to make this work. For some of you, it could be, okay, how is this going to, and they're really being critical on themselves. So like, I really feel They didn't feel worthy, and this could have been at a financial level. Like feeling split between a rock and a hard place, two places. They do feel that they're kind of, they're battling this thought for nothing. There's been conflict for nothing. I do feel if they've been on the fence to do with two paths, and that doesn't have to be a romantic partner. They're very adamantly saying that of how to do something with you guys. Yeah, stuck in between family, right? Money, family, children, legacies, inheritances, alimony. That's what they're saying, that there was two ways something could go. They do know overall they didn't want to bring this as a burden. Okay, let's dig further. What are their actions going to be moving forward, please? They are getting back on their path, and I do feel this is coming to an end. It's funny how we got Grandfather Sky. Now, yeah, again, Odin energy, very Saturn in nature. Both Saturn and Jupiter at the moment, they reflect. The reason it's coming up is because Saturn's retrograde. So collective energy, especially with this Aquarius moon, it's almost like we're regressing. We're looking over the connections we were in, trying to double check if we could have done it better, trying to see whether there is a solution to move forward so you can have the connection. But they've got Grandfather Sky coming up. They are moving on because their destiny and their desire is to get back on path to where they feel this connection is. They almost feel very similar to us when we're looking at a mountain. It's like, heck, how am I going to get up there? I'm so tired. The lucky thing is we do have Jupiter direct at the moment in Aries, and we also have Mars and Chiron in that area. And I feel they're jumping through these hoops very quickly. Okay, yeah, there's a judgment coming up. It's almost like, it is really like a rebirth that I'm seeing happen here, but it's happening very aggressively, very quickly. Something very painful is happening. This is a very painful situation, guys, whatever this is. There are people, how do I put it? It's almost like when you feel universe is against you. This person is going to let this down. When they're away from you, it is causing absolute sheer grief. They could have a family situation that they know is very toxic, that they know has really plagued them. And it's coming out back again. It's really saying, you're not the problem. I'm working this out. Okay, communication, please. I do feel communication's coming. Like I said, my guides kept saying, make sure you listen, because I feel that there's either going to be an SMS, it could be an email, it may be a phone call, or the person turns up. There's something that they're going to express to you, but it's also going to tell you how much they love you, as well as that you're not the problem. There's something emotional that's been going on that's been hidden from you. I don't think you're going to be ready to hear it, but you need to hear it. It's nothing bad. It's just, it might surprise you. That's what's been shown to me. They're very scattered, really scattered. Thus the channeling, scattered. Okay, emotionally, you guys might go into this very genuine sensitivity. At the minute, you feel oversensitive, right? Sensitive, cross. You might have a lack of empathy at the moment. That's because of the transits. It's going to ease up. This could be critical energy towards their past doings, but also our own with the Magician energy. Yes, you do know there's a lot of chemistry between the both of you, but it's also that you feel spiritually it can't be the same as it was before. You have felt that with the head and the heart situation, in your life, it has been very, oh my gosh, maybe I should use my head more and not my heart, because then it lets me down. I feel that you don't really know what to say. You feel there's nothing to say. I feel some of you, it's almost like you're taking your time. You're a bit protective of yourself. You got the hermit shell on, you know, you're very protective, like the new moon in Cancer, but it's going to force you really to face these energies, and it is asking you to be ready. But at the moment, I feel you're just really unsure of your heart. You're really protective of your heart. It desires it, but at the same time, it's protecting itself. I feel betrayals and things to that degree have been coming up for you. This can be to do with cheating, the choosing of other partners, how you feel directly towards the karmic and the karmic cycle, and plus time. And I feel especially, you know, from the 17th, I feel you and onwards, you know, keep an eye on the energy. We're having a conjunction to Taurus. And so it's to do with time, the time that you have had to wait for your offerings. It's almost like from a manifestation point of view, you may be feeling as though everything is taking so long and there's no movement. Some of you don't understand why. Okay, I'm going to ask the crowd. Are you feeling the karmics get no karma? I'm just reading what's there. Are you feeling, why do the karmics get no karma? It's not fair. Has anyone been thinking on that? Have you been thinking that the karmic somehow has your twin hostage under some voodoo spell? Good old Neptune. So what do you think, Lois, that the karmic gets away with? What would the first thing be that you feel that the karmic gets away with? It's common. It doesn't have to be, Lisa, that they're actually with someone. If you're meditating upon a previous person, you're with someone. Karmics must be going crazy. She was sure he was in the bag. Most of the time, look, many times we can have, and especially in twin flame path, especially in connections, a lot of connections are very codependent. If you can actually go through your ascension process and you can have detachment and you can still be in love, you're in a very healthy space. And that will be with whomever you choose to be with. It will be the most healthiest relationship you have ever had. It's very freeing. We had the freedom card up here. Yeah, and that's why I say don't ever go try to heal your twin. I mean, if you need to notice what they're saying, we'll listen 100%. But I think at one point, again, the control, a balance between our inner and feminine, masculine and feminine. He admits it was extremely codependent. So what do you feel that the karmic is getting or gets away with? That's my question. In your opinions, what do you feel at the moment the karmic gets away with? That's my question to the feminines or masculines, who's ever in the karmic relationship. What do you feel your twin's karmic got away with that you didn't? Can't advertise this. I'm having a sip of coffee. They are quite codependent, but you know what? It's almost like in a codependent fashion. You find a masculine will end up having to be the feminine and the masculine, the mother and the father, or the, you know. I was mentally, emotionally hurt. Manipulation. And then through that, he spent on her and took vacation. You know what I think is funny, though? Is that you can't buy love. I don't want your money, honey. I want your love. I said that to my twin the other day. It was like, I'm not your karmics. Like, just let's hang out. You know, I'm cheap. Company. Took a vacation. He spent on her. I did used to think that, and then I thought, gee, how are you liking that? One exercise I'm going to give you guys for this week, if you choose to dare. We may jump into some charts in a minute. I might answer some super chat questions. What I do see is communication coming in. I do, especially near the 28th. I would suggest protecting yourself because we can have a bit of an upheaval. You may find at the moment that your twin is open to communication. You need to be open for it this week to the end of the month, right? I also suggest that, which we will have another one next Friday, I would suggest coming through and watching the twin flame updates also. Separately, clear your home, drink lots of fluid, smudge stick your house, use some tourmaline and obstinine. You can get psychic attacks at the moment. If you're not tuning into the karmics, the masculine, whoever is in the circle that's causing conflict, it can come in towards you. You don't directly need to be connected for that frequency to come through. We are moving towards the new moon in Cancer. Be cautious not to use manipulation this week. Now they can, but it'll go Neptunian on their ass. You don't want to do that, okay? I don't want what she's getting from him. It's toxic codependency on each other. Yeah. I had a huge, I always have breakthroughs. I'm regularly having breakthroughs and having to reevaluate my thoughts. Yes, can I start posting up super chat? Yes, you can, Giggle. Thank you. Yeah, so from a point of view of the, Lisa, you got to understand though, unless we can come to a peaceful space, you won't be able to manifest it in. And if there's anger or hurt and we can't, it's almost like what we don't understand is by dissolving the hurt, you're actually taking its power away. And then you're open to bring the connection in. But while there is hurt or anger or judgment, it just blocks it, Dale. It really does. It's a bit of a bugger that way. I had to look at my shadow and say, you know, and the only way you can do it is actually doing mirror work and saying, okay, what is this person getting? And what do I look at as my, and what you might find in your life, Dale, is your twin is enabling a karmic due to addiction, right? And you have a bunch of burdens on you. And that's why it's coming up. It's like, I've got all this crap going on over here and I've got no one to help me, but this sort over here is getting it. It's because what it's showing you in a mirror sense is you feel overwhelmed. You know, who's going to care for me? Who will be here for me? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, don't even talk to me about the fives to the left. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Screw the fives. I'm over fives. I don't want to talk about it. My whole life is five. I'm so gonna link the astrology and the star signs. I might even do numerology and star signs. The info videos will be coming here. I want to talk about the fives. We're blocking it out. It's not real. I'm a manifestor generator. It didn't happen. Giggle! You know what I'm hearing? One way or another. I got that song just before my twin called me. Ooh-wee! Somebody gonna get some love. Okay, Giggle. You're pretty direct about it. You're like, no, my name is no. My number is no. You got to let it go. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about it. Well, that's where it's coming from, doll. That's why I don't get, honor the emotion you're feeling, Lisa. I am frustrated that I have so many burdens on my plate. I wish my twin was here to comfort me through this. Sometimes I feel very alone. And that is you understanding yourself then. And that's why you actually don't need to seek outside yourself, because you're actually listening to yourself and saying, I'm having a shitty time. Self-awareness. Okay, so Giggle, you have the Page of Wands. You're like, no. I want to, but no. No. You probably won't get a phone call because you're predicting it. He can feel your energy. You're like, if you bring your ass back here and you even try. I'm so going to get some sounds on this so when we do the super chat, we can have a walking, you know, like the Barbie doll, karmic Barbie dolls, or, you know, horns and noises. God, that'll be funny. You're like, look, if you come back being playing, no, work it out, close the door. You're like, I empathize and understand. I really do. You know, the funny thing, you still have this lingering, you got this feeling, and it is haunting you to a degree. You're almost worried you're going to hear something. It's like, but when you do look at it, Giggle, you've heard enough. Like, what, you know, the thing that's bugging you is, I think, child energy. That's what's bugging you. Like, is there something in the mix that I don't know about? Is there a roadblock? Is there a pebble? Did Hansel and Gretel not give you the PDF? You know where Medora is, right? So in your mind, you're kind of thinking, what's the go? What's the go here? I think you're getting more grounded and stable to the point you're like, look, you know, if you want the candy shop, you've got to buy the shop. It's also a compliment if they are thinking about you and the person is in a karmic relationship. One, it does help them realize that they're not happy. And two, it's like, well, sorry, you can't have your candy because you're otherwise hired in another premises. So I think that's kind of the attitude you've got going on. You're going to start getting very bouncy. You're going to want to get out there again and actually connect. You could be really psychologically thinking that I'm going to go have fun. Nothing's holding me down. Nothing's holding me back. It might come through in the next 48 hours where you just feel really bouncy and you're letting go. I think that's when you're getting communication coming in. There is something going down with your masculine and the karmic at the moment. You're presuming everything's hunky-dory and loved up. It's not looking so hunky-dory and loved up. But I get the sassy energy that you got. And it's like, oh, I'm having fun. You're in a prison. You're so naughty, Giggle. I love you. Oh, God, your aura cracks me up. Thanks for that. Who we got next? You're going to make me cry. Oh, the Blondie song. Oh, I'm going to ask you what that song is. I think I know the one you're talking about. I'm actually hearing it in my head before you even said it. Okay, who we got next? Basically, yeah. I don't know why I'm hearing, I touched myself. Oh, that's the song I'm hearing. Anywho, the destined cards for the next person in the chat. That is for... Where am I? You're next. Hi. Okay, it's really funny, Lois. You need to wish. You need to make a wish. It's so funny. We've got forgiveness. We've got heart-centered energy. And it's actually making a wish. And the funny thing is, it's almost like you're all hoofed out. Does that make sense? It's like... You're tired. You're kind of like, okay, spiritually, I can see you are a bit... I wouldn't say you're down. I'd say you're flat. You know, you sort of like, I'm at that flat energy. Emotionless. Does that make sense, Lois? It's like the feeling where you feel numb. That's about the best way I can describe it. It's like a lot came up for you, I'd say, in the last few weeks. It's probably been a little bit ugly. I think your daughter's going to say something to you. I think she's got a message for you, if she hasn't said it already. part of you is fearing that this person is not going to leave their karmic relationship due to tradition. It's like they've not made their bed, they're staying in it. That's kind of psychologically messing with you, but it's I wouldn't say it's messing with you. I think it's the basis of what you're where you're at in your life, where you're making a decision in relation to the karmic. It's like, okay, I understand and not empathize, and it might be because you had very traditional values. Maybe you were in a connection, and you know, in your mind, there was a time and there was a cycle, and you know, it was the tradition of till death do you part, so to speak. And I kind of feel subliminally, in a way, you're loving and understanding of it, but you're also disappointed. You're feeling let down and disappointed and disillusioned. Am I right? Hi, Angela. Yeah, so it's like, you know, are you looking? It's funny because in your situation, what happened on your side of the fence, you know, did you ever want to leave? Did you ever want to leave, or was it taken from you? Do you get what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of getting in a way, there's almost like a protective heart coming through, and it's like, you know, your heart's breaking, you're protective of it. It is making you angry. It's making you very angry. It's like, I can't believe you'd be so stupid to pick that. Why wouldn't you leave? It kind of feels like you're looking at them like they're being a coward. You're going to keep doing the same thing. It's the hurt body, doll. It's not that that's who you are as a person, but it's coming through like you're clearing your heart chakra from it. You know, the funny thing is this is probably going to end up being a very healthy thing of a revelation that you're having. When we have these epiphanies, the reason they come up is to show you that you don't need to just live the dream on the 5D, but you can actually, thanks, Carrie, you can actually physically have it in the 3D. So the disillusionment that's coming through is there due to the fact that you are supposed to be having both the 5D and the 3D. So it's about, initially you're going to go through that a little bit like you're bouncing back and forward, and it can look like the external world will go, oh, that's really naughty, you shouldn't be feeling that, that's not divine. But it's happening so that because you are spiritually ready to have a 3D connection, and so you're like trying to gauge it of, okay, what's my next chess move? But it's more to do with the internal manifestation of what's happening inside of you, and as you accept it, that's when the portal will open. I think it's because you're getting ready to say, no, I, Lois, deserve to have a connection that is divine and loving, and I'm going to be open to it, and I am accepting of this. I have to face the fact that it's not all love and light. I don't have, you know, it's not that you're not love and light. It's that you understand, you empathize, but you're no longer willing to live a delusion. You're living in the here and now. And that doesn't mean to say you F off twin flame path. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're not getting your twin, but it's an emotional energy that comes up at a portion of the path. And once you go through that, you're in the next chapter. And that's what I'm getting for you. I do feel is a next chapter, but at the moment it's going to feel a little bit yuck. It could bring some aggression up in you and assertiveness. And I think after you go through that, you'll be settled again and you'll feel a bit better. But that can shift the whole resume of your twin flame path where it stands right now. That's what I'm getting. Who do I have next? Giggle, please. My lifesaver. How's Eddie? Is Eddie behaving in the house? I had been thinking about Eddie. I went on Instagram and I saw him there. I was like, is he okay? Carrie. Thanks, sweet. Antonella in the house officially is an executive. Big congratulations. Carrie, Okay, hi Yildiz, can you please have a card for TF on one for karmic? What's the vibe? No drama. Well, 2 came out for the karmic. Your twin at the moment is thinking about you, and also, how would I say it? Are they present in their connection? No. Are they thinking about you? Yes. Is the karmic aware of it? Yes. The karmic's getting paranoid. The karmic is feeling that this person is pulling away and changing attitude. And so on the karmic side, it is causing paranoia. On the masculine side, they feel like they're living 2 lives. They're juggling, they're kind of like they're keeping busy, but at the same time, they're not completely in the connection at the moment because they're up here, if that makes sense. I'll see you soon, darling. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they're kind of, the karmic's noticing. That's all I can say. Okay, that's what it's looking like from those cards, and it looks like he may be trying to balance, maybe feeling a bit anxious. He needed time. He needed time to actually mentally digest where he was at spiritually in his life. And as I mentioned to you, you weren't the problem. It's a lot of these times, guys, it is to do with the fact that we're processing the past and we're living inadvertently through expectations that we subconsciously have conditioned ourselves to believe. And that pressure point then comes through in our relationships. So right now, I feel there is a bit of codependency coming through in the karmic. There is insecurities, especially because the way the connection did come about. This person's always going to be looking over their shoulder because they have used manipulation to get what they want. So unfortunately, it's just going to continue like that. They're going to feel paranoid. Alice in Wonderland, your turn, I think. Yeah. Well, I better hit the road and we'll come back and we will do the masculines. Of course, you're fabulous, darling. Okay, what are you stressing about, woman? Alice. I won't have this emotion here. It's not real. You are to meditate. This is for Alice in Wonderland. Okay, what's going on? You're panicking. You're freaking out. Breathe. 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 Okay. Also, separately, did you get some shocking news? Have you had some shocking news? You got lots moving. Lots moving. What is this? Bloody chart taking a while to get to me. So what is this? What I've got coming up with yours, you're concerned about something being taken from you. You're being very critical of yourself at the moment. Mentally, you could have some wounds coming up. There could be some subjects to do with love that you're looking at, and that you could be, you're on the fence about that. But separately, I do feel maybe you might have got some surprising news. The other thing I feel is you are regressing to the past, but you're moving to the forward. You're a bit panicked, and it's almost asking you to take a leap of faith. It's like, okay, if you're needing to react upon anything, that it's okay to just jump in the deep end and actually address those things. But you're also second guessing yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? But it feels that it's more to do with you spiritually. I feel your mind is getting really busy. You might need to do a third eye clearing and slow down a bit. Balance. I'd probably do some earth hurts and breathing exercises. And I think that's going to calm you down because your mind at the moment is quite scattered because it's got 101 things. It's a bit like when we've got ADHD. It's like, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. And it's just going so quickly that it's causing panic because you do feel that there's a lot that you are, really excited about, but at the same time, absolutely petrified by. But like my dad used to say, too much thinking is no good for the brain. It's bloody true. It's like, really, you know, you got the Fool card. Take a leap of faith. You're going to have some really great luck. Like anything in life, yes, there's stress, right? But there's infinite ways things can, you know, go. I think you have this in the bag. I think you have a lot of good connections coming into your life. I feel you're going for the stars, and it absolutely excites you. I do feel there is a energy around you that is attracted to you. It is a masculine. This can be at work or linked to work. There is also another individual. It's funny, some jealousy and insecurity came up with this person. This could have been a twin, a person from the past. It's brought it back and it's upset you again. You're processing it. Let me put it that way. You're processing whatever this is. And I do remember through our previous conversation, I said, you need to go to church. Okay, it's come up again. They're going back. You need to go to church. I hope that helps. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I will see you guys later. Take care, and I will see you guys probably. I'll either upload the videos to the Members Hub for the twin flame, masculine, feminine, karmic, or I will go live. I don't know what I'll do yet. I need to meditate upon it. And once I've done that, I'll be changing the membership around. Okay? See you soon.